let me give you my real list of best players in the world, okay? So this is the player pool down here. We have best player in the world. That's one person. 2 through 4, 5 through 10, 11 through 19, and then 20 through 37. All right, and then injured. I just put an injured section because I had to put Clay on here, okay? So here we go. Injured tier, I had to just throw it in here because Clay would be in here for sure, but he's not going to be playing this season. So we, you know, just shout out to Clay, man. Hope he has a good recovery and everything goes smoothly. Okay, so now we're in this 20 to 37 range. Okay, this is like, I put not in order because you could flip it however you want. But I'm gonna just throw the guys in there that I feel are there, and then we can talk about it for a second. So Lowry, I know a lot of people hate on Lowry, but I have him in there. Same thing with Middleton. I mean, listen, Middleton's the second best player on one of the best teams in the league, and his numbers are good. Siakam, I got Towns in there. I think Towns has the potential to move up, but he's got to show something. Rookie of the year, Jamal Murray. He's only going to get better. He's going to move up the list as the season and the years go on. Same thing with Jaylen Brown. Kemba, I think he's a very good point guard, one of the best in the league, but obviously I don't think he's a top 20 player. Same thing with D'Angelo, De'Aaron Fox. A lot of potential. He's going to keep getting better. Zach Levine. Listen, numbers were incredible. A lot of the guys in this category put up great statistics, but as Charles Barkley said, I feel like it's one of the best. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was basically every garbage team has a guy who averages 25 to 30 points per game. I feel like that's an accurate statement. So some of these guys like Trae Young, Bradley Beal, you know, guys that put up ridiculous numbers, you know, averaging 30 points per game. They're incredible players, but they need to prove more. Like, they need to show that not only they can put up numbers, but they can win. Winning matters in my rankings, okay? So that is my 20 to 37 group. Guys that are just outside of the top 20 or top 19 players in the league, in my opinion. Russ not in the top 20. Listen, Russ is very, very good. His numbers are incredible. I love Russ. He's not a top 20 player. Impact-wise, in terms of winning, right now, he's not a top 20 player. Can he move there this season? Yes, if he does really well in Washington. Top 19, in my opinion. At 19, I have Devin Booker. I know he's one of the guys I just talked about that's putting up great numbers and hasn't proven it yet in terms of winning, but I think the dude is different. And this season, he has the team around him. We saw what he did in the bubble, trying to get his team into the playoffs. He catapulted his level of play. It's going to be, this season, he's going to be a monster. He'll probably move up these rankings, but as of right now, I'm just leaving him at 19. I'm going to give, a lot of people like to troll. I like to troll PG, but I'm putting Paul George just ahead of Devin Booker right now, simply because as a two-way player, Paul George is good on both ends. Actually, he's great on both ends of the floor. I think he's gonna have a bounce back, kind of comeback season after that kind of debacle in the playoffs. And obviously the PG slander is funny, and I troll PG a lot, but let's be real. Now, 2 point guards that in the playoffs were just incredible, man. Up and coming, they're gonna be ridiculously good. I put Jamal Murray just above Donovan Mitchell. I could probably flip them either way. I just gave Jamal the benefit of the doubt because he's the one that won the series. But I mean, the dude, Donovan Mitchell averaged 37 points per game or something, 38, 37 points per game in the playoffs. Like, the dude, both of these guys are for real, no doubt about it. And they proved it in the playoffs. Honestly, I feel like he's gonna fall down this list. I feel like Devin Booker will be the best player on the Suns, but because of what he just did with that OKC team, everyone thought OKC was going to be a lottery team, and Chris Paul's leadership and just ability to run the point and run a team. Right now, I'm going to put him just ahead of these guys. Like I said, I think he'll fall down the list into this 20 to 37 category this season, but where we're at right now, I got to give CP3 his respect. Like I said, what he did with that OKC team was ridiculous. Just ahead of CP3, I'm putting Tatum, and he'll probably continue to climb this list. Just ahead of him, I'm putting Joel Embiid. Obviously, like I said, Tatum's going to continue to climb this, but in my opinion, Joel kind of got the short end of the stick this year with some of the injuries his team suffered. I think this year the Sixers are going to be a very, very good team in the East as long as they can stay healthy. Adding players like Seth Curry and a couple other shooters. I can't even think of the names. But some of the pieces they added, adding Doc Rivers, I think is going to help Joel a lot. And, I mean, he went out in the playoffs in the first round and got swept, but I don't think any of us would blame that on Joel. Obviously, the injuries to the team played a big factor. Now, just ahead of Joel, I'm putting Kyrie. I'm putting Kyrie just above Joel. We've seen Kyrie in big moments hit probably one of the biggest shots in NBA Finals history. He has his moments where he can destroy a team's chemistry, but in terms of ability and just clutch play, ridiculous ball handler, scorer, he's coming back for the Nets this season. I think he's going to be phenomenal. Just outside of the top 10, I kind of had a hard time deciding between Dame and Jimmy. I think Dame is the more talented player. I think Jimmy, after this last season, we saw what he can do when the team is his and the impact he can have on a culture. Obviously played really well in the NBA Finals with the exception of Game 6 when he only had, 12 points. But I just think Dame is such a supremely talented player that I'm going to put Jimmy at 11. I had a tough time deciding, but I'm going to go with Jimmy at 11. I had Jimmy at first in the top 10 just because of, I know talent-wise, like Kyrie is a more talented player than Jimmy. Embiid is a more talented player than Jimmy. Tatum's a more talented player than Jimmy overall. But in terms of impact on winning, I don't think you can give Jimmy enough credit for what he did with, let's be honest, a less talented Miami team last year. I mean, they played the Celtics, who were more talented. They played the Bucks, who were overall more talented. And Jimmy was the leader of the Heat team, and he got the job done. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and put him at 11. I wouldn't be surprised if he were to slide down a couple spots throughout the season. But where we're at right now, I'm putting Jimmy at 11. I have to respect the amount of impact he had on the culture of that Miami team. So just at 10, as we just said, Dame. Listen, I mean, we've seen him go to the conference finals. We've seen him make clutch shots in the playoffs. I think he has actually three game winners in the playoffs. Dude is amazing. I can't say enough good things about Dame. I really love watching Dame play. Phenomenal player statistically and in terms of carrying his team. I mean, we saw what he did when he had to, they suffered a lot of, don't forget, Portland had a lot of injuries last year, and Dame, when they finally started to get healthy, like when the bubble started and stuff, Dame really lit it up and took over just to get them into the playoffs. And obviously, they didn't really have a chance going against the best team in the league. Next up, I got Jokic. Dude's unbelievable. Best player on the Nuggets, went to the conference finals, came back from 3-1 against the Jazz, came back from 3-1 against the title favorite Clippers. The dude is unbelievable. He's only going to get better. And, yeah, I mean, what a player. I put just above him, I got Luka. I think Luka can even climb up even higher on this list in this season. But, I mean, what else can we say about Luka? Unbelievable, ridiculous player, future MVP. Just above him, I'm putting James Harden. I mean, listen, certified bucket getter. I would like to see him have more success in the playoffs, but you also have to realize, like, the dude ran into the juggernaut Warriors, 3 years in a row? 2 years in a row? 3 years in a row? If it wasn't for a team having Steph, KD, Clay, and Draymond, and Iggy, and James Harden would have carried that Rockets team to the finals, I think. At least once, if not twice. If CP3 never got hurt, he probably carries him past. Listen, James Harden is that guy. A lot of people want to slander him because he doesn't have a championship yet. I think eventually he will get one. And you can't deny his talent. I'm putting just above James. I'm putting Giannis just simply because of the fact that, listen, the dude is unbelievable. He carries the Bucks to 60-plus wins every year. Statistically, he's great. But we just need to see it in the playoffs, right? Like, he's flamed out the last 2 years. We got to see it in the playoffs, but you can't deny that he continues to improve every year. If he ever gets a reliable jump shot, it's over. Now, this is going to be controversial. You guys are going to think I'm being biased, but right now, if I was going into a playoff series, a 7-game series, and I had the choice between Giannis and Anthony Davis, right now, as we speak today, I'm taking Anthony Davis. I think AD is more versatile. Jump shot. I mean, I think he shot the highest mid-range jump shot percentage in the playoffs this year. I could be wrong, but he was up there. I know at one point he was leading. Some of the shots this guy's able to make, absolutely incredible. I don't think you can just, like, the way they wall up Giannis in the playoffs and really stifled him the last 2 years. I don't think you can do that to Anthony Davis. I even made a poll today. Let's check the poll. I made a poll. Who would you rather have, AD or Giannis in a 7-game playoff series right now? And it wasn't even close. That's not why I did this. I just wanted to see what everyone else thought. But right now I'm putting AD as number 5 best player in the league. I think the dude's ridiculous. Coming off injury, at number 4, I'm putting Steph. I mean, you could put, you know, maybe you want to put him below AD and Giannis because he's coming off injury or Harden or whatever. I'm giving Steph the benefit of the doubt. Best shooter of all time. He's gonna have a monster season, especially with his Splash brother being out, Klay Thompson. I mean, Steph's gonna statistically have a ridiculous year, and I think he'll carry the Warriors into the playoffs where ultimately they lose. Top 3 players in the league. I got Kawhi at number 3. Listen, two-way player, dude's mid-range game, post fade, unbelievable. You know, won the Finals MVP in Toronto last season, had a good year. Obviously, flamed out in the playoffs, blowing a 3-1 lead, but listen, the dude is an unbelievable player. Coming off injury, I got KD at number 2. Until I see KD not be KD, I'm just going to trust the fact that even though he's coming off the Achilles, I'm putting KD above Kawhi, above Steph, above Giannis, above all these guys. Until I see with my own eyes that KD is not KD, I'm going to trust the fact that he's going to come back and be the guy that we all thought he was. Number 1, hands down, best player in the world, LeBron. That is my tiers as of today. As I said, people will change and swap as the year goes on. I'll change my opinion as we start to see who's doing what, which teams are doing what. But that's my list. Let me know.